I hate long intros, man. Y'all can read the title, so you already know what's going down. I started to rank these players by conference, but then I realized that every single year another superstar trades teams, so organizing them that way would be stupid. But I think it'd be really fun to kind of look back in this video on 5 years and see how wrong or right I was. So I kind of wanted to do this anyways. Got 24 players here total. I did put them into different categories, which you will see in each category. In the order in which I list the player is how confident I am that they will make the All-Star game in the year 2028. So first category, we got the locks. Number one most confident on the list for locks to make the All-Star team in 5 years is, you already knew, Luka Doncic, hallelujah, Luka Doncic, which is what LeBron said in the All-Star game yesterday, which was stupid, but not the dumbest thing LeBron said. Listen, Luka will be 28 in 5 years. Is it a hot topic to say he could be the greatest player ever? I'm debating saying one of the greatest players ever and the greatest player ever. It's just, y'all see his numbers. The dude is 23. That's a year younger than me. Jeez, that's crazy. I can't imagine what he's going to do by the time he's 28. I can't imagine it. Either way, he's clearly a future Hall of Famer. He'll be an All-Star game in 5 years. If you didn't have the most confidence in Luka making the All-Star team, you probably had Giannis Antetokounmpo. He will be 33 in 5 years, and obviously his game is primarily based off athleticism, but it's also based on size, and by 33, I don't think he'll lose that much of his athleticism where he still won't be a top 5 player in the game. Giannis will make the All-Star game. My third lock is Nikola Jokic, man. First of all, I don't forgive that sloppy fat boy for almost killing Markieff Morris, but he's kind of nice. And he did win me some money in anonymous player prop betting app that rhymes with Bix, but they do not sponsor me, so I will not say the name for free. Because his all-star total in the app was 12.5 points. And I said, this dude Jokic likes to pass. He's not going to look to score in the All-Star game. That was free money. Dude took like 4 shots. He had 4 points. So he did win me some money. But obviously, anyways, back on topic. Jokic, 2-time MVP, might win it this year. Who knows? I don't really care. He'll be 32 in 2028. He'll be good enough to make the All-Star game. At number 4, I got Joel Embiid. Yeah, obviously, Joel will be 33 by that year. His biggest injuries or his biggest concern is the injuries, or maybe he's thrown in jail for flopping and tearing too many people's ACLs, because he's done that like twice to Danny Green and I forget who else. Very, not dirty player, but flops a lot. Not a big fan of his. Please come to the Heat, though. But he'll make the All-Star game in 2028. Next, number 5 on my list of locks, we got Jayson Tatum, who in 2028 will be 19. Yeah, that was too easy a joke. I had to make it. He'll actually be 29, so a decade older than 19. But 29 is still young in the NBA nowadays, and that should be right around when he's hitting his prime. Jayson Tatum will make the All-Star team, even though I don't think he's the best player on his team, to be honest. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Number 6 on my list of locks will be Ja Morant, who will be 28 years old. Damn, that means he was born in 2000. That's crazy. Anyways, Ja Morant very clearly looks like he could be a future MVP. He's really fun to watch. Obviously, they're started to have some off-court antics that are turning people against him. I don't know enough about it to get into it, but he will make the All-Star team if healthy. Number 7 on my locks, we got Donovan Mitchell, who will be in a Miami Heat uniform. I'm just speculating. He should have already been in here, but by that time, Lowry will be long gone, Jimmy will be gone, and Tyler Hero will probably be in Utah, I'm guessing. So Donovan Mitchell will be 31, and he will make the All-Star team as a member of the Miami Heat. Can't wait to watch this in 5 years and clip this part right here and show y'all. Number 8 on my list of locks is a guy who I am not a fan of whatsoever, but he will make the All-Star team. It is 31-year-old Devin Booker. Obviously, 31, he's still relatively young, especially for a guy that is a great shooter and relies on that jump shot a lot. He'll still be around in 28. Obviously, he didn't make it this year because of injuries, but I'm sure he'll be back. And he's a good player. I just don't like a lot of things about him personality-wise, like how he thinks he's Kobe, but then complains about getting double-teamed in practices. But I could go on forever about Booker. Maybe that's a video for another day. Number 9 on my list of locks, one of the most underrated players in the league. Oh, maybe not so much anymore. I'm sorry, there's so much noise in the other room. They're watching The Last of Us. I'm not really into the whole zombie thing, man. If y'all into The Last of Us, you go ahead, comment down below. Let me know if I'm tripping. Anyways, number 9, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who, as I was starting to say, finally starting to get a lot of respect. He's one of those funny guys where he's so underrated that people are saying he's the most underrated, which now makes him like, accurately rated. But anyways, he will be 29 in the year 2028. Obviously a baller. Maybe OKC will be championship contenders by then, or maybe they'll still have 10 picks because their picks go like 15 years into the future. Anyway, Shai is my lock at number 9. Number 10, we have the guy who I think should have made it before injury replacement this year, Anthony Edwards, who of course will be only 26 in the year 2028. He made it this year, was the injury replacement for Curry or who else, I forget. But he's obviously a very good player, super athletic, and seems like a really nice guy too, outside of the weird, random homophobic thing on Instagram. If y'all don't know, you could look it up. But he seems to be saying the right things nowadays, so he seems like a cool kid. I'm rooting for him. Number 11 on my list of locks. There's only 12 locks, by the way. I don't know if I said that. Number 11, and I do believe this is unbiased. Bam Adebayo, man. Bam Adebayo has taken a jump every single year. He's increased his points per game every year for 7 years, or for 6, I think. I believe if he does it one more year, he will pass Derek Fisher for the most consecutive years increasing points per game, which is obviously a really good sign, especially when the guy is a lockdown defender, best defender in the league, no doubt about it. And he's added to his bag, baby. He got that little mid-range dotted line pull-up jumper that is smooth as butter. God, I love watching Bam Adebayo. I do. He is the only thing that has made this Heat team somewhat enjoyable to watch this year. He is what I tune in for every night because they are mid. Now, I am recording this right after they officially signed Cody Zeller and Kevin Love. Maybe those guys will help. I doubt it because Cody Zeller was on his ass just like I am, not in the NBA. So how much can he help? Truly, I don't know. Bam will make the All-Star team in 2028. He'll be 30 years old, and I think he will make it every year up until then. Also, big fan of Bam Adebayo. Number 12 of my locks, a guy that should be a lot higher, but of course has a lot of injury concerns, is Zion Williamson, man. He's only going to be 27 in 5 years. And when he was drafted, I truly thought he would be an all-time great. I saw his size and his athleticism and skill, and I said, you put those 3 things together, there's no way he's not a Hall of Famer. Of course, the concerns were the injury. We are starting to see that. He's out again now as I speak. But Joel Embiid had a lot of injury concerns too. He was a bigger guy. He was 7 foot. I understand he still weighs less than Zion, who's shorter than him. But anyways, if Embiid could get healthy, I'm going to pray that Zion can too and have a very long, successful career. And if he does, he will be a lock to make the All-Star game. So those are my 12 locks. Y'all can see them right here. The next is a small section that I have here is young, current/former All-Stars. So these are 3 guys that I put here that either made the team this year or made it, in a previous year, and they're still young, and I believe they will continue on a positive trajectory, so they probably will make it, but I just can't, I'm not confident enough to put them in my lock territory. So number 1, we got Jaylen Brown, who will be 31 years old, and in my opinion, is currently the best player on the Boston Celtics. I was saying that before the NBA Finals last year. And I was proven so right when Tatum had some terrible performances in the finals and Jaylen Brown was doing much better. He was doing better. I think people just like Tatum because he's more flashy than Brown. When really in reality, Brown puts up the same amount of points and he plays better defense. It's as simple as that, in my opinion. Obviously, Tatum's good. I just think Brown's better. He'll probably make the All-Star team at 31 years old in 2028. The next guy I got here is LaMelo Ball, who will be 26. He missed it this year. I think a lot of it was probably because of his injuries and his team sucks. But he's obviously a fun player to watch. Puts up great numbers. Sometimes that's all it takes to make the All-Star game. But he is a good player. He looks like he can certainly be one of the best players one of the better players in NBA. We'd obviously have to see him with a good team one day and other good players around him because Charlotte is kind of a rebuilding dumpster fire at the moment. But I think LaMelo Ball will be there. And then the third and final guy I have in this section is everybody's favorite player. Your favorite player's favorite player, probably. I don't know. It's Tyrese Halliburton, man. Tyrese Halliburton will be 27 years old, and he's awesome, man. His jump shot's a little iffy looking, but he been making it. Put up 31 points in round 1 of the 3-point contest. He's a hooper. I ain't going to be like Wally Zerbiak saying he's a fake all-star. The dude is nice. Maybe it was a win-win for Sacramento because they're going to make the playoffs, and I think they would sell their soul to make the playoffs, let alone Tyrese Halliburton. So he's obviously a great player. Indiana's a decent organization. They seem to always be in the mix for playoff contention. I think he'll continue to have great success there, and he'll make the All-Star game. The next 6 players I have that I think will make the All-Star game in 2028, I have in the category future stars. These are guys who are obviously very young, a couple of them not even in the NBA yet, but I think they are going to be stars and be in the All-Star game 5 years from now. Number 1, we have Paolo Banchero, who will be 25 years old. Dude is awesome, which sucks because he's in the Southeast Division, same as Miami, and he looks like he's going to be a menace for years. Big man, can shoot 3, do a little bit of everything. He's the perfect player for the modern game. He will be in the All-Star game. The next guy I got here is Evan Mobley, who will be 26 years old. It's pretty well documented now how awesome Mobley is, specifically defensively, and I know the All-Star game is not meant for defenders, but he can obviously do a little bit of everything too. He looks like he will be one of the best players in the NBA 5 years from now. I got him making the All-Star game. Number 3 on this list, another guy, Southeast Division, the teammate of Paolo. I got Franz Wagner. Truly one of the most underrated guys in this league. He's awesome. He'll be 26 in the year 2028, and he's another, kind of big that can do a little bit of everything. He's one of those bigs that plays more like a wing or a guard. He's awesome. I'm very, very high on Franz Wagner. I think he'll be in the game. Number 4, I have a future 27-year-old Tyrese Maxey, who I currently believe is the best point guard in the Philadelphia 76ers, even above James Harden. Partly because I think Harden's bum, but also because I think Tyrese Maxey is him. He's obviously awesome. He's had some really great playoff performances. Always kills the Heat too. Super quick, great jump shot. Out of Kentucky, should have been in Miami instead of Precious, and then instead of Kyle Lowry. Yo, imagine Tyrese Maxey on this team instead of Kyle Lowry. God damn. What could have been? He's awesome. He'll be in the All-Star game. Number 5, maybe bit of an easy pick. I honestly don't even know if I truly believe it because it almost seems like it'd be there's no way he can be this good. It's Victor Wenbenyama, who will be 24 years old. If he does go first pick in the draft, he'd go to currently the Houston Rockets are the worst team in the league, so maybe he'll be over there in the West Coast. Yeah, he looks awesome. Obviously, you'll probably have injury concerns there too, just because a lot of those really tall, skinny dudes do, like Bol Bol or Chet Holmgren. But, hopefully he'll stay healthy. He looks scary, talented. I think he'll be in the All-Star game. And number 6, I have another guy who will probably go second in the draft, which right now would be the San Antonio Spurs. He'd be 24 years old. It is Scoot Henderson. Yo, Scoot Henderson looks awesome. So much so that if I was the Miami Heat and let's say they had the first pick in the draft, I think I'd want Scoot on this team. Obviously, Wemby looks cool, and next to Bam, I guess he'd be good, but this team needs a guard, man. And that boy Scoot could pass. And just thinking of the idea with Scoot and Bam next to each other just sounds lethal. Very athletic guy. I've heard a lot of comparisons to John Wall. I like his game a lot, and I think he will be in the All-Star game. So, if you're keeping track at home, that is 21 players. That means that I only can pick 3 more to be in the 2028 All-Star game. So, the last category I have for you, I am calling the old heads. Call me crazy, but I think a 43-year-old LeBron James will make the All-Star team. I know. You could call me crazy, but I don't ever bet against the man. First of all, with how good he is now, I'd make an argument he's the best player in the game. He can go another 5 years if he wants to. He's even said physically he believes he can go till he's 50, whatever, but it's mentally. His son will probably be in the NBA by that point. Who knows how long he plays college ball? That would be Bronny. But Bryce is just a couple years behind him. Maybe, and I've heard people say Bryce might be better. I don't know. I'm not watching these dudes hoop in high school, to be honest with you. But maybe LeBron wants to play with his other son too, so he wants to play a couple more years. And as long as LeBron is in the league, he will be in the All-Star game. Maybe that's even his last season, and they'll give him an honorary spot just like they did Dirk and D-Wade. So I think LeBron will make it. Number 2 on my old head list, I got Steph Curry. He'll be 39 years old, and the way that he takes care of his body, and obviously he's the greatest shooter ever. I think he will have the ability to play as long as he wants. And we see some guys playing till 39. I think he'll still be here. Same as LeBron. As long as he's in the league, he'll be in the All-Star game. And same with the last guy on my list is Kevin Durant, man. He'll be 39 years old, just like Curry, but he'll make the All-Star team every year he's in the league. And I know he has the injury concerns too, like Curry, but he relies on his jump shot a lot. I think he'll be able to make it till 39. And of course, when he's in the league, he'll make the game. So Kevin Durant is the last guy I have on my list. Now, this list was hard to make, y'all. There's a lot of very, very good young players, and it's hard to rate where someone will be in 5 years because progression is not linear. It's not. But I did put together an honorable mention list that was supposed to be 3 and then 5, but I couldn't keep guys off, so I just made it 7. The first guy I have on my honorable mention list is Trae Young, who will be 29 years old. Kind of crazy after his first couple years in the league. I think he was even an all-star starter, that he's not on my list to be a starter or an all-star when he's only 29 years old, but he didn't make it this year. His team is not that good. People are really starting to expose how awful his defense is, and gaudy numbers can only take you so far. So I'm not sure he makes it, but if he did, I wouldn't be surprised. But I guess I'm not picking him. The number 2 honorable mention, I got it. Brandon Ingram, who'll be 30 years old. Dude's a hooper. Another guy who gets better every single year, but had to cut some people off. Ingram did not make the cut. Number 3, I got another former young all-star, Darius Garland, who did make the team last year. Listen, Cleveland's going to be good for a very long time, even after Donovan Mitchell leaves and come to Miami. They're going to have some nice pieces over there. He's one of them. He made the All-Star team for a reason, a guy who's consistently averaging 20 points a game with great assist numbers. So I could see him making the game, maybe an injury replacement, but I do have some of those other young guys ahead of him. The 4th honorable mention was probably the hardest one to leave off this list because I maybe highly overrate him, probably too much. It's Scotty Barnes, man. I love those switchable players that look like they can do everything because that's the future of the NBA. You know, these big wings that could do everything. He's one of them. He didn't really take a jump this year, but like I said, progression is not linear. I think he has a chance to make the game, I guess, although I didn't pick him. Number 5 honorable mention is Cade Cunningham. Don't really know much about him because he was hurt most of this year, his sophomore year, but his rookie numbers are pretty gaudy. If he keeps it up, I suppose he'll have a chance. Maybe not in Detroit because they don't get a lot of love. But yeah, he seems like he'll be a good player. Number 6, another guy who maybe I'm just falling too much in love with the highlights. It's Alperen Şengün. Dude is awesome. Now, supposedly his defense is abysmal, sort of like Trae Young, but he's fun. He can do a little bit of everything, man. His passes, he's like a Jokic light, man. And Jokic is a 2-time, maybe 3-time, soon 3-time MVP. So if you're a Jokic light, you got a chance to make the All-Star game. I got him as an honorable mention. And the last guy that I got here is Benedict Mathurin, who'll be 25 years old. All these guys will be about 25, 26 that I didn't name. They're all under 30 except for Brandon Ingram. But Benedict Mathurin, a guy who, as a rookie, is lighting it up offensively. And a lot of times it's those high-scoring numbers that get you votes into the All-Star game. So if he progresses at a rate that a good player would, I could see him maybe making the All-Star game. So those are my honorable mentions, and these are my 24 All-Stars that I predict to make the game in the year 2028. It'll be a lot fun looking back. If I forget, one of y'all hopefully come remind me in 5 years. Who knows where I'll be in 5 years? Maybe I'll be in the NBA All-Star game, the celebrity game. I don't know. That would be fun. That would be fun. But we'll see. Make sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I'm forgetting anybody, if I'm crazy for putting someone out there. And leave a like if you enjoyed. If you didn't enjoy, then I don't care. Like, what am I going to do about it? I have fun. I'll see y'all next time. Maybe you won't. Who knows? I'll see. Peace out.
Look, pull up in your city tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own. I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off. Yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.